What's up, everybody? I'm Peanut Tillman, and this is the NFL Players Second Acts podcast. And with me, as always, my trusted co-host, Mr. Roman Harper. What's up, baby?
What's up, man? How you doing, Peanut? Really excited about the guest that we have today, and then also just this Taj Mahal that we're in right now in the middle of Frisco, Texas.
Yeah.
The star, Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, allowing us to be here to interview some of their greatest and finest people around the area. And it's I gotta admit, I'm very, very impressed with what we see today.
Yeah, let's get right into it. Our guest right now played 9 seasons with the Chiefs, won a Super Bowl. He and his wife, Marissa, now have a cookie empire called the Cookie Society. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the pod, Mr. Jeff Allen.
Yeah.
Peanut Tillman, the Chicago legend.
No.
As a kid growing up in Chicago, man, I want to give you your flowers. Appreciate what you did for the city. A kid that grew up on the South Side, you gave me hope, so appreciate that.
Oh, man, I received that.
Roman, I watched you too, man. The connection wasn't there, but you've had great hair my whole life. So,
That is,
you're awesome. You're an awesome guy. You're an awesome guy, man. You guys are you're great. You guys are unbelievable, polished at this media thing, so appreciate y'all having me.
Oh, man, Jeff, man, appreciate that, man. I knew you were a big fan of Peanut. I mean, the moment you met him, that's the first thing you said when you walked in was like, dude, big fan of yours, Chicago. So shout out to you guys, man. And what you're doing off the field has been amazing. So I want to jump into that. Before we get into all that, though, I want to talk about your newest adventure in your life. I heard you had a baby girl on, what was the date? February 17th, around that?
January 17th.
Okay, January 17th.
Yeah.
You posted the picture.
February 17th.
February 17th.
We waited a little bit of time before we let everybody know, but amazing. Child number 3. We took a little bit of time. I have a 10-year-old, just turned 10 yesterday, and I have an 8-year-old son. So 2 girls, 1 boy. 3.
Yeah. How was it being back in the diaper phase?
We didn't realize how hard it was.
Yeah,
we forgot.
I did that. You did that.
Yeah, I was out. And then you go back.
It's rough.
It's rough. You forget, and then you forget those sleepless nights. But at the end of the day, y'all know it's all worth it. It's the greatest gift on earth.
It is.
Absolutely.
Having children and just to see that. Honestly, it's a different phase of my life. I'm retired now, so I'm spending more time with the baby.
Yeah.
And I'm doing some of those diaper changes. I can't make the excuse that I got
practice.
I got practice in the morning.
Sleep.
So I'm doing that, but it's an unbelievable experience being able to be here and see the child develop at these early stages.
Yeah, that's you got 4, I got 4.
Yeah.
4 is a lucky number. That's all I'm saying.
So I got to go one more then.
You got to.
It's personal. That's personal preference. Me, I wasn't trying. You know what I mean? So, but
Me neither.
I mean, if you swing the bat, you may make contact every now and then. So that's just what it is. But yes, you enjoy yourself. I'm not trying to go back to any kind of diaper phase. All my kids are now using the bathroom by themselves. So I think once you get to that phase, it's really hard to go back.
Yeah.
But
I want to talk about high school. So you went to, was it King?
Yeah.
College Preparatory.
King College Prep.
King College Prep, South Side, East Side, South Side. But what was that experience like for you, and how was football at that specific school?
It was amazing. I grew up on the east side of Chicago,
Yep.
which is a little bit of a distance from King. But at the time, my uncle, he was coaching at King, so he convinced me to come there.
Yeah.
They had just transitioned from a normal school. Chicago went through a educational change at that time where they were getting rid of some vocational schools and opening college preparatory schools. So King became one of those schools, and I ended up going there, playing football, started varsity all 4 years. Got that tough love from my uncle. He played at the University of Miami back in the heyday from
the
what was
good
that?
days.
I mean, his roommate was Russell Maryland.
The 80s.
Yeah, Marco Irvin, he was there those days. And he was hard on me, man. He made a lot of mistakes, and he wanted to make sure I didn't make those mistakes. And honestly, it was one of the big reasons why I was able to have that grit and that toughness and be able to persevere through some things as I got throughout my career.
Now, who was the big rival y'all used to play?
Our biggest rival, and I would probably say Crane High School. It was out west. We always had some tough battles against them. Basketball and football. Also Simeon. Same thing. Yeah.
That's the ones.
That's Derrick Rose. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also the other guy that passed away, that guy.
Benji Wilson.
Yeah. So now this is for people like me. Call us ignorant or whatever, or you can just call us from the South. But
ignorant.
A lot of people from the South, we look at you city guys, Chicago, New York, other big city, like they ain't really playing no ball up there. Tell me what football is like in the city of Chicago.
I mean, it's kind of true. I mean,
that was why I asked the question. That was why I was like, so what was it like?
It's kind of true. I mean, I'm here in Texas now. I've been here for the last.
So you were the mecca of it.
I've been here for 10 years. I was in Houston before, and now I'm here in Dallas.
High school football.
Football is life here.
Yes.
And in Chicago up north, that's basketball.
Yes.
So we don't get those same resources. We don't get the same crowds. It's not the same energy. And honestly, when I first started, I mean, we didn't have a weight room, we didn't have a field.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was really raw. So when I got to college, that was one of the first times I had a weight program. You know, I could barely bench 225. I couldn't make a run. That was just pure athleticism and talent. I had a lot of growing up to do, and those coaches got me, you know, in the right position. But early on, it was like, I don't know if this is for me.
So the thing that I don't think a lot of people know about the city of Chicago or like CPS, if you do it for one school, you got to do it for all the other schools.
And it's way too many schools.
And it's just too many schools.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like at my daughter's school, she goes to Kenwood. She went to Kenwood. Like they didn't, when it was cold, they ran in the building. And it like, they just ran in a big square in their building. Like between lockers and classrooms, like they run in sprints in the school in the middle of the hallway. Like that's just kind of what you had to do. What was I got another side question. What was the first thing that ran through your mind when you saw Friday Night Lights in the state of Texas and like a high school game, like the crowd, everything?
First time when I saw the stadium, I'm like, who's paying for this? This is crazy, man. This looks like Division I football, and just to see the fandom, like these local businesses are shutting down. You see everyone's invested in these kids. I mean, they're superstars. I mean, early on, they're getting that treatment early on. So to see it, it's you can only experience it by seeing it.
Right.
It's not something you can really explain. And the energy that you see in these stadiums is unbelievable.
So you talked about it earlier about you know, how raw you were by the time you got to college. That, you know, you didn't have a lot of the resources that you lacked going to high school, and, you know, having your uncle to kind of believe in you important to you. Did you ever think that you could make it to the NFL, kind of growing up the way that you did? Because you put a tweet out one time, and it was a really, really good tweet. It talked about, I wasn't a high school all-star player. And I think a lot of people need to hear that. Because a lot of guys that make it to the NFL are exactly what you were saying. And so you said, I wasn't a high school all-star. I had 0 stars. I wasn't on anybody's radar, but one camp, just one opportunity changed everything.
Yeah.
I went to a camp in Illinois, one-day camp heading to my senior season. I got an offer, and from there, I became a 2-star recruit. That was all I needed. And so could you maybe just kind of talk about that, what your experience was? Because we all have them.
Yeah.
But that sounds very personal.
Man, ever since I was a kid, all I wanted to do was play in the NFL. Like, I immediately fell in love with football. Like, I still love football the same way. I'm a big fan of it now. I don't play it anymore. But my first time playing football, I snuck out of the house. I wasn't even old enough to sign up for the team. I went to the local park. It was right now. It was Jackson Park.
Yeah.
And I saw kids with pads. And I'm like, where'd y'all get those from? They told me. Followed them one day, went up there, lied to the coach. First thing we did was run a lap around the whole field. I'm like, why are we doing this? I just want pads. But I ended up signing up for the team. And after the first hit, it was boom. This is for me. And I remember watching Bears, Packers, and all I wanted to do was be Reggie White.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a
and the first jersey I got was Reggie White. Even though I was a Bears fan, I had that because I wanted to be like him. And from that moment, it was just constant work, constant belief. Despite the circumstances, growing up where I grew up, a lot of people don't make it out. It's a tough situation, but I had belief. I had a strong support system, my mother, my uncle, and I was able to do it. And it was one step at a time. I remember I ended up telling Jason Avant this story. Shout out to Jason Avant.
I love Jason Avant.
Jason ended up becoming one of my teammates in Kansas City. But before he was my teammate, he came to talk to our youth team. He came to talk to us, and he was telling us about the process. And at the time, he wasn't in the NFL yet. He was at Michigan. And he was telling us the process of college and what it took to get there and what you had to do. And he wasn't talking directly to me, but I was in that crowd. And that gave me so much excitement and energy. And although I have my uncle in my life, he was my uncle. Hearing it from someone else, coming from my neighborhood, from where I was from, that gave me a different spark of energy. And that's one of the main reasons why I do what I do now. And I get the opportunity to talk to kids, I give it my all because you never know who's going to be in that crowd. So shout out to you, Jason. I appreciate you, brother.
And the crazy thing is that
happens a lot.
a lot.
It
Like you go
happens.
talk to this group, and not everybody's gonna hear it, but you never know the one who you change their life for that hears something that really, like you said, sparks this light in them. That's like, man, I want to do that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a great story. Thanks for
Definitely,
sharing that.
no problem.
So I got my 13 years. You played 12.
11. But thank you.
Oh, I give you one. I give you 12.
No, it's fine.
So I got my 13. He got his 11. Thousands of football plays that we've played amongst the two of us. And we can always go back to that one play. Was like, dang, that's that welcome to the NFL moment. Now I know I'm in the league. When you got drafted, what was your welcome to the NFL moment?
Man, Tommy Kelly and Richard Seymour.
Okay.
They were older at the time, but they were in Oakland, and they looked like avatars.
Yeah.
And I can remember it was a outside zone play, and I crossed my feet, and then I was airborne. And all I saw was Richard Seymour standing over me and Tommy Kelly just talking straight cash. I'm like, oh my God, what am I? It's my rookie year. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? And the game before that, I had a great game.
Was this a preseason game? Or
No, this is a regular season game.
Okay.
I felt great.
So it all counts.
I'm like, yeah, all counts. I start feeling myself. I could play in this league. These guys, I mean, they old now. Boom.
Humbled you real
They
quick.
humbled me real quick. So that taught me a lesson, man, for sure.
Now, you said that, you kind of came out of nothing. But, I mean, you did start every game in college.
Yeah.
At right and left tackle. So how did, you go from, I don't know, to all of a sudden,
All right, listen. It's
okay.
a lot of hard work, God, and a little bit of luck. And we all have those same
Gotta
stories.
have 'em.
So I left high school. I was able to graduate mid-year.
Okay.
So I
you got
went.
to campus
I went in the spring. So
Bit of a nerd over here.
all of my struggle happened while all the other freshmen were at home.
Yeah.
So I'm with the upperclassmen. They give me a hard time. I'm not making any runs. I'm doing 6 a.m.s. And I knew what I was in for before fall camp came. So I didn't go back home after the spring. I stayed there.
Stayed the summer.
Smart.
Stayed the whole summer. Once all the other freshmen came in, I was ahead of the curve.
You were 8 months in already.
I was already in, so I knew what I was in for.
Advantage.
I had a decent spring ball. I was with the 2s and 3s. Then I went into fall camp. We had a couple injuries. I was playing guard at the time. But because of injury, I got some reps at tackle in practice. Did some one-on-ones, went against our best defensive end at the time. Had a great rep against him. The coach was like, do it again. Did it again, shut him down, do it again 3 times in a row. It's like, okay, you may be a tackle. So I slowly started getting reps at tackle. Had another guy go down game 1. I didn't start my first game. He went down, broke his foot halfway through the game. And then I was starting. After that, my first start was at Penn State doing a whiteout against Aaron Mabin, who ended up being a top pick. At the time, I'm watching, it was the morning of the game, it was a night game. I'm watching ESPN, they're talking about our matchup. And they're like, Aaron's going to kill this kid. He's a true freshman. This is his first start. I think Aaron had 5 sacks at the time. And I was the weakest link in their eyes. And I remember believing it. I was like, oh, man, I'm going to be the one that messed this thing up. But I went out there. I shook off the nerves. First play, it was a pass play. I slipped, recovered, ended up blocking him. And I was, okay, I might be all right. And then it was a 3rd and long for the first time. He knows his pass. I blocked him. And that gave me the utmost confidence. Had a great game, didn't give him any sacks, any pressures. And from that moment, I had the mindset, you're going to have to show me. Like, I don't care what nobody's saying on TV. I don't care what the rankings say. You haven't played me yet.
Our coach used to always say, you got to guard the man, not the reputation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that I think that holds true. That kind of sounds like was it Wally Pipp?
Yeah.
The Wally Pipp story. Am I saying it right?
When he got hurt in Babe Ruth game?
Well,
yeah.
That's the Wally Pipp.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, someone got hurt. You got it. You never gave
it
up.
I never gave it up. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like,
that's the Wally Pipp story.
That is.
My version of it.
That I appreciate it. It's fine.
Come on.
So what was it like? You talk about reputation. What was it like playing for Andy Reid? We mentioned him a little bit earlier, but I want you to share with everybody else. I've heard, I won't say horror stories, but I mean, it's pretty old school.
Oh, no, he definitely has the worst camp in the NFL.
Okay. There it is.
It's one of those things that make you want to retire early. But Andy Reid is the greatest leader I've ever been around.
Yeah.
He's old school, but he's also a player's coach, and he cares about the human being. Obviously, we know this is a business that we're in. Anything can happen, you got to make decisions, but he's always going to care about the person. And he's always going to be honest with you. He's not going to be one of the people that smile in your face and tell you and do something otherwise. He's going to tell you the truth. And you got to trust that, and you got to believe it. You also got to go out there and perform. So I was very appreciative of that and his mindset.
So where would you rank him as on your list of all-time coaches if you had to have one?
I always have this debate with people. I would say he's the greatest ever. Honestly, I think Belichick, obviously, and what he did with New England, it speaks volumes, and everyone puts him on that at the top. But Andy's done it in many different ways, in many different eras, several teams, and a lot of different quarterbacks.
Yeah,
that is hard to do. I don't think Bill ever had the opportunity to do that. He had so long with Tom Brady.
Right.
He never really had the opportunity to do it with a lot of quarterbacks. So he had such a great one for so long. But Andy's done it in a lot of different ways. And being in the building with him and seeing how he operates, he's open to feedback from coaches, from players. He's always evolving and getting better. And I don't know if that's really the New England way from what I hear.
Well, I mean, look, they're not trying to kick Bill Belichick while he's down, but
he was
below 500 at Cleveland as a head coach, and then once Tom left, they kind of struggled as well. But back to Andy Reid, what's up with the Hawaiian shirts? Like, has he ever explained to you guys like his whole swag?
Yeah, I mean, they're comfortable. He's all about comfort.
Okay,
he's all about comfort.
Comfort and cheeseburgers.
Comfort and cheeseburgers. He says that at every meeting.
Really?
I'm gonna treat you to a burger. After every meeting the night before game.
I didn't know that.
Oh my God, he says cheeseburger on everything. I saw in one of the meetings. He said, "We're going to do this and this. All right, come on, let's go get some cheeseburgers."
Yeah, that's
everything
his thing.
He loves some cheeseburgers.
Okay, I'm not mad at that.
He loves food, not just burgers. I mean, honestly, I think I talked to him more about food than I did football.
Does he love your cookies? Has he tried your cookies?
Oh, he loves Cookie Society. His favorite is his sweet potato pie. That's his favorite cookie.
That sounds
but he's definitely an offensive line guy.
Yeah.
And he still loves the O-line. He loves food just like we do.
So I would love to know what Andy Reid and the entire team, what their mood was. I want to go back to 2013, the wild card game. Yeah, so
don't do this,
at the start of the third quarter, it was 38-10, Chiefs 38, Colts 10. By the end of the third quarter, it was 41-31 Chiefs. And ultimately, the Colts, they end up winning 45-44.
Yeah, I remember.
Like they gave up the lead. So how was that afterward? Like in the locker room, what was the message?
Man, that wasn't really a message. That was a series of unfortunate events. I mean, everything that could go wrong in that second half went wrong. And it wasn't like we came out and, I mean, obviously we did something wrong, but it wasn't like mentally we went out and said we're going to take our foot off the gas. It just was a lot of crazy stuff that happened. And it has to in order for a team to come back like that.
Mm-hmm.
And after the game, it was just one of those moments where it was a lot of silence. We all were in disbelief. I really tried to forget about it, but thank you for bringing it back up.
Oh yeah, no worries. That's our.
I really think about that
producer.
game a lot, honestly. That was a really tough loss for me, and one of my college roommates was on the other side.
So he
still
he
brings
rubbed
it up,
in,
yeah,
of course,
from time to time. So
I just remember I figured y'all were going to lose the game when I think the running back Donald, he fumbled on the goal line, and then Andrew Luck picked it up and just kind of bounced right in his hands, and then he dove in for a touchdown. I was like, oh yeah, the football gods are on the Colts' team.
Yeah,
right now.
definitely.
They're looking out for y'all.
So when you're on the sideline, all right. So when you're up, you're cool. Like at what point do we man, we tripping? Like at what point did that happen?
Well, DJ said it a little bit. Like DJ was mic'd up that game, and he was just like, "Come on now, we're not losing this game." Like you can see DJ trying to like stay positive and keep the mental sharpness of the team. Like, no, we're gonna win. We can't lose this game.
You're talking about Derrick Johnson.
Derrick Johnson. And we gave up like 17 points in like 4 minutes. I was like, this is crazy. But I remember going on the sideline after a series, and our running back fumbled the ball. We turned it over. They were getting a little bit of momentum, and I just remember our offensive line coach telling us like, hey, pick it up. Don't let it. Don't. I'm not gonna say what I want to say, but stuff rolls downhill.
Yeah.
And that's sure what happened. Everything just kept piling up, and mistake after mistake happened. And the coach had some good luck there, but ultimately, I think we gave that game away.
So, did Andy Reid call you in 2018 and tell you not to retire?
Yes, he did.
Tell me about that story.
So I had a back concussion my last year in Houston, and I was in Pittsburgh rehabbing. Ended up getting back healthy, but after I got healthy, I was reluctant to play again. I was like, I don't want to play anymore. I'm done. But I still was training.
Yeah.
My trainer down here, Duke Manyweather, I still was working out. That's all I knew was to work out that way. And he was down at training camp, and I guess my name came up, and he said, Jeff's still working out. And I ended up getting a call from Andy Reid, and he convinced me not to retire. And it was
How do you convince somebody not to retire? Like, what is that conversation?
It just was the conversation was like, are you truly done? Like, are you truly done? If you are truly done, I'm going to respect that. I just want to know, from you personally, are you done? And before I had that call with him, I felt like I wasn't done. And I had calls from other teams. I was like, no, I'm done. And then when I got that call leading up to that, I just had this feeling that I was leaving something on the table. I really felt like I wanted to go back, and it had to be the right situation. Obviously, Kansas City, knowing Andy Reid and being comfortable with Andy Heck, the offensive line coach there, that would be a good fit for me. It was an easy decision to come back.
How gratifying was it to win a Super Bowl, though, with him and Patrick Mahomes? Because you got there.
I didn't get the opportunity to play in that Super Bowl, but to see, everything leading up to that, that was definitely amazing.
What does it tell you about the organization? Because on the big chart, right, the Chiefs have had a whole bunch of success, but now all of a sudden the NFL comes out with this chart every year where they rank the organizations.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs, for the food, the facility, all this other stuff. And you would think the Chiefs would be at the top.
Oh, yeah.
But they weren't. But you and your experience has been great.
Yeah, no, I definitely had a great experience.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But some of those grades I could see, like some of the facilities could be upgraded.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing like this.
But what's your no, there's nobody like this. But what's your opinion that they make sure they give you a ring, though?
You said what?
That you got a ring from the Super Bowl.
No, it's a great organization.
Yeah.
Like I would say from top to bottom, the way they treat people, it's great. I think
class.
a lot of it's first class. I think a lot of people's opinions were based upon aesthetics.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I don't even think that even comes from the people in the building. I think that comes from outside.
Yeah, that has to come for us. That doesn't matter to me. I don't care what the weight room looks like. I don't care what the training room looks like. I care about winning.
Yes.
At the end of the day, and I care about, do we have a good coaching staff, and are they treating us like men and with respect? And that's all I ever got from there.
I think one of the best things that the organization does is, if you're an ambassador for the team, like if you're a retired player and they ask you to become an ambassador and you say yes, and you go out and you speak on behalf of the team and talk about all the good and whatever that they're asking you to do, and the team actually goes out and they win a Super Bowl, you get a ring.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Because I got released week 4 heading into that season.
This is the story I wanted to hear.
So I got released.
Sorry if I asked you
you're
the
good.
wrong way.
You're good.
Yes.
I got released week 4 that year. And going into that preseason, I thought about retiring again. We lost the AFC title the year before. I was like, I'm done. I told him, I was like, I'm
tough
done.
Loss.
I'm done. I'm done for real this time. Then I got that same call from Andy. He's like, Jeff, you just don't want to do training camp. I was like, kind of. But no, I really was thinking about being done. But still the same feeling. I was like, you know what? I think this might be the year we win the Super Bowl. A lot of stuff went on movement-wise in the O-line room that they didn't expect. A lot of young guys went on waivers. They ended up picking them up. Get into week 4, we had a guy come back from suspension. We had a good relationship. They're like, we're going to release you, but we're going to bring you back. But at that time, when I got released, I went to Chicago, talked to some family, met with some friends, and ultimately, after those conversations, I felt like I did everything that I could do. And no matter what, I wasn't coming back. Got released on a Thursday. On Monday, they called like, hey, we need you back. A guy got hurt that Sunday night against, I think they were playing the Colts. That Monday, they called it's time. He thought it was going to be a few weeks later, but at the time, I was like, you know what? I'm done. It's time for me to be done. I listened to my family, my friends, and God, my wife. Talked to my mom about it, and it was ultimately time to be done. And I transitioned to selling cookies.
But at the end, you got the call, and they were like, "You're going to get a ring."
Yeah, I got the call.
So did you know that you were going to get a ring?
Yeah, I knew.
Okay.
I knew I was going to get a ring. It was one of those things where I really have a good relationship with the staff there. Brett Veach.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where I felt like it was the right thing to do, given the time that I spent there.
Absolutely.
And given the way that, we decided to move on. It wasn't like one of those things where it was a burned bridge. It just was a decision that was best for me at the time.
Okay. So you were rooting hard then?
Oh yeah, I was a big fan.
Yeah. Because
Like that's all I want. I'm still a big fan. All I wanted to see that, and just to see all the flack that Andy Reid was getting up until that point.
That's very true. He had to win it.
Like he had to win it. It was always he always came up short.
Mm-hmm.
So to know the man and to see everything that he put into it, that's all I wanted to see. Like I wanted to see the guys win it, but I wanted to see Andy Reid for his legacy win it more than anything.
Yeah. So now let's transition to your second act, right? You retire. You and your wife get into the cookie business. I really want to know, like, I really want to dive into, like, how did this even start? Are you a baker? Is she a baker?
She's the baker.
So I'll tell you,
she's the baker.
I'm a big foodie, and so is my wife. So every off season when we travel, our itinerary would be based upon where the places to go eat, when we're whatever city or country, wherever we are.
Okay.
That off season, we took a quick trip to New York, and there was a famous bakery there. And I thought it was a bakery. I thought we was gonna have a full spread, croissants, all type of pastries. Waited in line almost an hour. Get to the front, they have 4 cookies and 1 croissant. I asked the associate, I'm like, hey, this all y'all have? She's like, yeah, this is all that we sell. And I'm like, this is crazy. I waited in line just for cookies. So we went across the street to Central Park and we sat on the bench and I ate the cookie and it was out of this world. Amazing. And I turned toward my wife. She was a former college soccer player, so she's competitive. Hit her with some reverse psychology and said, you can't do anything like this. Because I wanted it at home.
Yeah.
That's it. It wasn't to start a business. We got back to Houston. She started playing around in the kitchen trying to recreate their recipe. She couldn't figure it out. So she's like, you know what, I'm going to make a cookie the way I think you should make it. Made a chocolate chip. Then it went on to banana pudding and so forth. And then all the flavors started coming. Started taking them to the locker room, giving the coaches, players. Everybody said the same thing. These are the best cookies we've ever had. And that's how we got the idea.
So what year was that?
That was in 2018.
So that was in 2018. So 2018, you go to New York, you eat the cookie, you reverse psychology.
Yeah.
Ask the wifey to make you some. She's making them. The team eats them.
Mm-hmm.
They love them. When did you know that, we can turn this into a business?
When someone asked to buy some. When someone asked to buy some, one of my teammates, shout out to Chris Clark, he asked to buy some during the holidays.
Yeah.
And we were like, she was like, I don't sell cookies. That's not what I really want to do. I like baking them, but just give it to him. I was like, I grew up an entrepreneur, man.
Yeah.
I grew up hustling. I was the one knocking on doors, shoveling snow, raking leaves, selling candy in the hall. That was me. So I was like, you're going to sell it to him. He got the money. You're going to sell it to him, Chris.
Yeah.
So we ended up selling the cookies. And then after that, we were like, I was like, I don't know how much longer I'm going to play. We talked about franchises, some things. I was like, how about we just build our own thing?
I like that.
And we sat down at a round table, and we threw some names back and forth, and we tried to figure out what it was going to be. And we came across Cookie Society, looked it up, did some research, was able to trademark it. The URL was available, all the social media tags, and we just took it as a sign. I was like, this is something that's new. And at the time, there wasn't a lot of gourmet cookie companies.
Mm-hmm.
So we felt like we were bringing something new to the market, but now they're everywhere.
So how many I think you just opened up a third one in Mansfield?
Yeah, we have 5 now.
5.
That was our 5th.
Okay.
So we have Frisco, Texas, South Lake, Texas, Addison, Texas, Prosper, Texas, and now Mansfield, Texas. Those are the 5 we have now. We're going to continue to open more. We're going to focus on the DFW for now.
Yeah.
Then eventually outside of the DFW, but only in Texas. Until we become the cookie of Texas, that we won't feel comfortable leaving Texas. We want it to be like Whataburger is.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
When you think Texas burgers, what do you say? Whataburger.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do with cookies.
Now, do y'all sell more than 4 cookies and a croissant? Like, how many do you?
We sell 10 cookie flavors at a time. We rotate monthly. 6 are classics; they stay all year, and then we have 4 that rotate monthly. We also sell brownies and other treats depending on the season.
I saw the brownie one. So, not to interrupt, but first of all, your wife whoever does the social media for Cookie Society does an outstanding job.
The music is
your wife is
nice.
Great. The way you guys mix everything in, you guys go check it out. Cookie Society.
She got a marketing degree too, right?
Yeah, she has a marketing degree.
She does a great job. I was on your Instagram page for like 15 minutes the other day, just going through. I saw the brownie cookie too.
So did it make you want a cookie?
I totally wanted a cookie.
That's what I'm talking about.
Immediately,
we got some right there. Look at that.
Open that up. I'm telling you.
So what we got?
We got banana pudding up top left. Right in the middle is chocolate chip. To the right, we got snickerdoodle. Bottom left, salted caramel. To the bottom left, middle, frosted oatmeal. Then we have a strawberry toaster treat.
Kind of like
I
a
heard
Pop-Tart.
Kind of, we can't say that though.
Oh.
For legal reasons,
There we go.
I can say it. You can say it. I can't say it.
That's
But
why you doing your thing,
It's
Jeff.
kind of like
You
a
already
tart
know.
pop. We can say a tart pop. We say it backwards.
You already know.
Yeah.
No, I was really thrilled. I was hoping you were going to bring something here for us.
Yeah,
So,
I'm happy to.
this is really cool. And so you guys are doing the cookie thing. Yeah, I seen a couple interviews. You and your wife do it. Marissa does a great job of promoting yourselves. Yeah, like that?
It's
Yeah.
like that.
Which one was that?
That's the banana pudding.
That's the banana pudding one? Yeah, I don't really like banana pudding, but it's fine. So you and your wife, you guys are constantly promoting it. You do a great job on social media.
Thank you.
And so all of a sudden you guys are going along, and what's it like when all of a sudden when Oprah's people reach out to your people? Because
That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, so
and for those that don't know, he was on
Oprah's Favorite Things in
Oprah's
2020.
Favorite Things. Yes.
So when we did our business plan, one of our goals was to be from a I guess an accolade standpoint was to be on that list.
Oh, really? That was a goal.
That was number one. Like, and number two was like get Beyonce the cookies because my wife is a big Beyonce friend. But like when we got that, we thought it was a prank. We got an email from the not the publisher, the editor from O Magazine.
Okay.
And the email was very short and brief.
Like, who had been there? How did you guys get secretly scouted?
Look,
do you know any of this?
We still don't know to this day.
Okay.
We get the email, hey, this is such and such from O Magazine. Can you get us in touch with your PR? I'm like, great. I am the PR. So I created another email, PR@cookiesociety.com. So I create the email, reached back out. We checked it out because we thought it was fake at first.
Yeah.
Ended up finding the lady's LinkedIn and it was legit. From that point, I think it reached out in August. We sent cookies for months to so many different people before it ever touched Oprah and Gail's hands.
Yeah.
We finally get to the end. They're like, okay, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this price point? Can you get special packaging for the holidays? And then we finally get to the end. It's okay, y'all pretty much made it. We love everything, but now it's up to, Oprah herself if she likes it. Send it to her. So we sent it to her.
Which flavors did you guys send her?
We sent her red velvet, banana pudding, which is one of her favorites, turtle.
What's turtle?
Turtle. It's like
like
caramel pecans, chocolate chips, and a brown butter cookie.
Okay.
Cookie dough. And then we sent her like a hot cocoa cookie. They're all holiday cookies. Pecan pie. I think we sent her sweet potato pie.
Mm-hmm.
Sent her 12. We did 12 different flavors for the box, which is crazy. Like from a production standpoint, doing 12 different flavors is tough to execute, but we ended up doing it. And at the time, I think the most cookies we've ever sent in a month was like packages was probably like maybe 400. We were getting that an hour when that list released. Like an hour. So we had to turn our website off. We had to turn off the Amazon store.
Oh, wow.
Like we're getting calls from, their team like, hey, like y'all got to turn that back on. And we're like, we had 1,500 square feet at the time where we're doing this all out of, and we have people lined up
also
around
in
the
line
corner.
too. Yeah,
I saw the line. Yeah.
So it was tough to keep up production. We ended up figuring it out. We were around the clock 24/7 for basically 2 months. And then we tried to figure out how do we increase production. And then we got into manufacturing. So we manufacture our own product now. And that's how we've been able to scale.
Shout out to Oprah, man. That's dope.
Shout
How
out
good of
to,
a feeling
shout out
is
to
that,
you and
though?
your wife too.
Yeah.
No, it's a great feeling. It's one of those things that's surreal. And for me personally, you did what you did for a living. You too. It was for us, we loved what we did, but we never saw or felt what others felt.
That's very true.
We just was doing our thing. We was doing our job and we loved it, but we didn't really feel that proudness that they felt. Seeing this and seeing it grow and watching my wife build something has been like one of the greatest things to witness for me. And being able to be a part of it and help her along the way has been even greater. So shout out to my wife. Find you a good woman, and your life will be good.
Yeah, and I've heard you talk
It was
about
like a role reversal.
Yeah, and
No,
how
it is.
competitive she was naturally. How she felt lost at times when she was just like she knew she was there to support you.
Yeah.
She wanted to do that, but it was also like, I mean, I am used to being my own as well.
Mhm.
And for you guys to now have this, and she's the lead dog, and you're being more of the support role. How's that been? Has it been healthy for you guys? How's it been finding those roles as well?
No, it's definitely been healthy for us. I mean, we both are athletes, so
Mm-hmm.
we're team players. And one of the things that we always talk about is, basically do your job. It sounds like New England, but do your job, but knowing your roles. Like we are very sure in what we do.
Yeah.
I know what I do. She knows what she does. We're going to defer to each other in our expert fields. If it's something that she's leading, I'm going to say, hey, what do you think about this, or vice versa? And at the end of the day, I'm going to trust in her and she's going to trust in me.
Mm.
And I think that's made our marriage better.
Yeah.
Honestly, because I don't want to equate it to business, but when you have the structure and everything's in place and you can communicate, you're going to be better partners, both in your relationship personally and also business.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
So the transition, from the game to, let's just say, life. Some people do well, some people don't.
Yeah.
I went right into working. I tried to have something to take my mind off of football. Mr. Harper over here, he didn't do nothing for a year. So everyone's
5 days.
So
Yeah,
so everyone's different. Everyone's different, right? Was having a business easier for you during that transition from leaving the game to going right into business or the Cookie Society?
I would say so, because even with having that, the transition is always going to be tough.
Right.
But having another challenge and keeping myself busy and being able to recreate myself in real time, as opposed to being idle and sitting there and wondering what I'm going to do or trying to figure it out, I just threw myself into the fire.
Yeah.
I made myself really uncomfortable. I wouldn't say this is something that I expected to do, but anything that I do, I don't care what it is, I'm going to give it my all. And it just so happened to be, it's been a huge passion of mine. I've always had this bug of being an entrepreneur. Everything you do as an athlete, you make it to the level we made it to, you're going to have the characteristics to be able to be a good entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You're going to be a good leader. Even if you didn't have that C on your chest, you're going to know how to lead people, put teams together. You're going to know how to, work through hard stuff. And then that's entrepreneurship. I heard somebody say it's like jumping out of a plane with no parachute and building another plane before you hit the ground and making people buy tickets to that plane.
Yeah.
I ain't
never heard that, but it sounds pretty difficult.
I saw it on
that
Instagram.
was like scary.
Yeah.
Sounds scary for me.
But that's definitely what entrepreneurship is. It's just a leap of faith.
Mm-hmm.
Believing. Obviously, you gotta have structure. You gotta have some type of education and research to back it. But you're gonna learn a lot on the fly.
So, what's been, as an entrepreneur, what's been the toughest obstacle with the Cookie Society?
The toughest obstacle, I would say, managing expectations. And any business that you're going to be in, it doesn't matter if it's a product or service, it's a people business.
Yeah.
You're dealing with a consumer or you're dealing with your team, right? If you can't manage the expectations of both, you're not going to go anywhere.
So what's something that you've had to midstream adjust? You jumped out the plane, all right? You built the plane.
Yeah.
How'd you sell the tickets?
How'd I sell the tickets? I would say for us, it was building a strong brand. And we say it all the time. We say we're a big business in a small building. We're nowhere near being a big player in this.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to present ourselves like that, but we're going to also operate like that.
Yeah.
And that's the most important part, especially early on. And it's about managing the expectations. Like I said, you got to set the standard. Those processes have to be in place. And that way you're in a good place to scale. You don't want to get to the 5th floor and realize that the foundation isn't built correctly.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure we're doing the right things before we take off. And that's what we've been doing for the past 2 years. And now we're scaling. We've opened 3 stores in the last 9 months, and we're going to continue to grow stores. But we had to wait for the right time to do it.
Absolutely. I like that.
So what is...
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so what is next? Like, I know you guys want to stay building in Texas. You want to become being the cookie of Texas.
Yep.
It's a big state.
It's a big state. Well, the goal is to open at least 3 to 5 more here in the DFW and different areas to reach different demos. And then we're going to start looking at Houston. We're actually going to Houston next week to look. Austin, San Antonio, all the big cities in Texas.
So you got to get to Austin. Then you end up in the stadium over there, DKR.
Definitely. We're in the American Airlines Center. We got that this year.
Yeah. Congrats.
And continue to get stadiums and things like that and just diversify what we do with cookies, not just in the retail space, in the hotel space, all those different things.
Yeah. I just got an entrepreneur idea.
Oh, no.
I talked to a guy.
Oh, no.
He's got a store in the airport. And I had a simple question. It's like, why is your product more expensive in the airport? And he said, well, because you need it. If you need toothpaste, I'm not going to sell it at the grocery store price. You need it. So supply and demand, I'm going to jack up the price $2, $3. So are you not in the airports, right?
We're working on that. We're working on that. We're really close to getting that done. So
come on. I'm over here. I'm inspired. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was an entrepreneur idea or if you just talked to an entrepreneur.
Like, why are you on my ideas all the time?
I'm just saying.
See what I got to deal with? Like, this dude, he shoots me down all the time.
I was just
oh, my
honest.
God. Every time I have a good idea, it's like, nah, that ain't what that is. You just stop
I don't
crying.
know if it was an idea.
Big old crybaby.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh, my God.
So you just heard it.
This dude is terrible.
That's
Let me
funny.
ask you, get you some good friends that always encourage you, man. Don't do this. He shoots me
Hey,
down.
listen, man. There's studies that say friends that give you a hard time love you more than any friend. So I think he a good friend.
You think, oh, now
I think he a good friend, man.
Why you tell
Thank you,
him
Jeff.
that?
I think he a good
His
friend.
head
man.
just got bigger and grayer.
Bro, I mean, Jeff said I've been gray hair as long as he's known me, dog. So
Y'all has, man.
Oh my God, this dude is the worst.
All right, well, Jeff, we always like to ask this about everybody, and Peanut usually does a better job of asking this question than me. But Mount Rushmore, the greatest and brightest that we say is who they are. How about on your Mount Rushmore of influence on you to make you and help you become who you are right now? Who would those 4 people be?
I would say my mom, first and foremost, seeing everything that she was able to persevere in the heart that she had while going through it. And now being a parent, like, you don't appreciate your parents until you become one. Like, you appreciate them, but you don't understand. You lack the perspective.
Right.
Now that I have
Great point.
kids, now that I have kids and raising my children, I have every resource in the world, and it's still hard. My mom was a single mom, worked 2-3 jobs, and she showed up to every practice, every game. I didn't want for anything. I wasn't rich by any means, but I was rich in love. Like, she showed up for me all the time. And knowing what I know now, looking back at that, I'm like, how did she do that? So she's an amazing woman. Then after that, I would say my uncle was the biggest football influence in my life. He was the one that, gave me that toughness. I think I hung my hat on being tough and playing football. Like, I wasn't the most athletic guy. I wasn't the guy that was on the all-look team. He used to always say, you got a BMW, boy, body made wrong.
Yeah, I heard that.
But look, I was going to go out there and I was going to prove otherwise. And I went out there and I did everything that I was supposed to do. And he played a big part in instilling that mentality in me and believing in myself. I would say my wife, I would say before I met her, I wasn't as focused as I am now. Being with her, seeing how meticulous she is and how hard she works made me work even harder. And then us starting a family and our children and all of that and the legacy of that, that's beyond anything. Like, that's beyond me. That's bigger than me. So I appreciate her for that. And then let me see. I would say, man, there's so many people. I feel like I'm gonna leave so many people off.
You
it's
are.
fine.
You definitely gonna leave them off.
It is
I'm
fine.
fine.
That's the purpose of the question.
That's a very tough one, man. I would say, I'm gonna go back to football, and I'm gonna say my high school coach, Lonnie Williams.
Okay.
And I could say a bunch of other people, but he was the person that showed me that love that I needed in the time while I was getting that tough love from my uncle. Like,
it's a good balance.
Yeah,
it was a good,
he's the one that come over.
Yeah, he was the one that always came over.
It was a
and
balance.
that reassured me during those times where I was like, man, like, why is he so hard on me? And he would be the one to give me the reason why. Right? Because my uncle wasn't going to be the one to tell me, like, no, like, I'm telling you this because, or I'm treating you like this because he would come, because he don't want you to make mistakes he made.
Yeah.
He sees something in you that you don't see in yourself, or you're a lot better than he was at this age. I'm just telling you, he went to University of Miami, he was All-American. Although you're not getting the same looks he's gotten, you're probably better than him right now. So that gave me a lot of confidence. So I appreciate him for that.
So does Unc like the cookies? Does he give you a hard time about the Cookie Society?
No, man, I actually lost my uncle. I don't want to make you guys sad. I actually lost him before my first start in Houston. I lost him right before the first game.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so that was a tough loss for me. That was one of those things where, you know, it happened fast. You know, getting pancreatic cancer, stage 4, passed away within 2 weeks after getting diagnosed. And I was happy he was able to see me make it.
Yeah.
And that he didn't suffer for too long. But it definitely was rough for me. And a lot of the things that people don't see, like when you play football, you deal with stuff like that. I went into that season cloudy for the first few weeks because that was a big loss for me.
Yeah.
But I still had to pull myself together, be professional, go out there and perform. Yeah. But I was dealing with that on the background.
Hey, Jeff, man, before we get you up out of here, first and foremost, thanks for that last story. And I want to, it seems like you had things and points in your life almost very similar to my situation where sometimes you're not always just naturally this confident kid that just steps out here on the field and just dominates because I'm bigger and I'm got this mentality. But it was like little points in your life, little things happen for you that gave you the confidence. Like, no, actually, I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
And it seems like you've done this with the Cookie Society. It wasn't always right, but something happened. It was like, Clark wanted to buy the cookies all of a sudden. Like these little confident moments in your life. Could you maybe talk to some of our viewers and listeners that are sitting out there and like, you know, how to believe in yourself and when things give you that light or that glimmer of confidence, what to do and how to handle it?
I would say one of my biggest attributes and one of the things that I developed over time is just a grit and toughness and a callous. And that's something that you just develop throughout life, but it's also something that you can lean yourself on. You can hang your head on it, and you get used to just doing hard things. It's not that it becomes easier. Nothing becomes easier. You just get used to doing it. And there's no point in doing anything if it's not going to be hard.
Yeah.
Like it's just no way around it. I know it sounds cliche, but there's no shortcut to success, and you're gonna fail, right? But fall forward, and that mistake is never a mistake if it happens once. It's a lesson. You got to take it, learn from it, and propel yourself. And for me, I didn't go to business school, right? So for me, my master's degree in business has been in real time and making mistakes for the first time. And when I make those mistakes, they turn into lessons because I don't let it happen again. Yeah. So believe in yourself. Don't be afraid to fail, and have this uncompromising belief in yourself, because stuff's going to happen that makes you want to quit. But anybody will tell you that's made it anywhere to the top of a mountain, the key to getting there is not quitting.
Mm-hmm. Well, I appreciate you coming on the pod. I'm probably going to eat the rest of these cookies. I'm going to cough on them. I'm coughing on all these cookies. They're all mine. So
you don't have to do that.
I saw you brought 2 boxes, but I'm keeping this one for me, and then y'all can share the other ones.
Jeff, man, are amazing. It's been a blessing, man. Thank you, man, and appreciate you coming in, man. Young man from Chicago coming here showing Peanut some love.
He gave both of our flowers.
I know,
like
man.
That's a first. We ain't ever both got flowers. It's always one, but you the first person to give both of us our flowers, man.
I have to, man. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you very much
man.
for that.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it,
for
man.
the cookies.
Yeah. And for all of our viewers out there and listeners, man, make sure you give us a 5-star rating wherever you pick up your podcast at, whether it's iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts. You heard it exactly where it's at. And what is it? Click, give us a like, share,
subscribe,
follow.
Check us out on our NFL YouTube channel.
Peanut, we're out of here.
I'm Peanut. That's Rome. That's Jeff. We out. And this is the NFL Players Second Acts Podcast. Hey!